Miami Dolphin fans, Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, ready to get into the latest Dolphins news and rumors. What exactly is coming up here on today's video? We're going to be breaking down the latest going on around Xavien Howard trade rumors because Jeremy Fowler said some pretty interesting stuff, and I want to be able to take a deep dive in on it. Robert Hunt, is he playing guard? Is he playing tackle? And we're going to be wrapping this show up here with a little fun tidbit from Bleacher Report on Myles Gaskin, whether or not he's on the hot seat. So before we get into all these awesome rumors and stories, if you're looking for an awesome YouTube channel that keeps you guys up to date on your favorite team, go ahead, hit that big red button that says subscribe, and make sure you turn on those notifications. The easiest way that I can tell that people got their noties turned on is when they're the first people in the comment section on a video. So I want to give a special shout out to Ivor Whitehead, David Chudovid, I have no idea how to pronounce your last name, Bryce Douglas, and then Anil back-to-back. These are the last 5 people that commented on their very, very first of our videos. If you want to be featured in a future Dolphins video, go ahead, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Let's get into the latest Xavien Howard trade rumors here on Dolphins Today. There's a report that's been circulating around the web for quite some time now that Howard is unhappy with his contract, at least his current contract. And for those of you that don't know, Howard just a few years ago signed a brand new deal which made him one of the highest paid corners in the league. Though coming off a 10-interception season, it appears that maybe he wants a little bit more money. Considering the fact that he's due $12 million this year, which is good, the bigger issue there for Howard and his contract, he wants more guarantees. And when you look at the deal, he doesn't have any guarantees, at least going into this upcoming season. Jeremy Fowler wrote in an article that he believes that Howard could be traded before the start of the season. He also actually went on to say that this is one of the worst kept secrets in the National Football League, that Howard's unhappy and that he could potentially be dealt. So what do I got to do here? I got to give you guys my 2 cents and tell you whether or not I think it's true, what could potentially happen. What I do know is this: if I'm Howard and I'm coming off a year where, let's be real, I don't know if he should have won Defensive Player of the Year, but he should have got more than 3 votes that he did. 10 INTs, 20 pass breakups. You could have made the argument, and I will, that he was the best cornerback in all of football last season. But he's also got to look across the other side of the football field, and he sees Byron Jones. Now, Byron just got a newer contract, therefore that's why he's getting $14 million guaranteed. But every single Dolphins fan watching right now would say Howard might be the better corner over Jones. And then if I'm Howard, I'm like, wait a minute, he's getting $14 million guaranteed. I'm not getting any guaranteed. That's where there's some of this upset, and that's where some of these reports are starting to come from. So this is exactly what Fowler had to say on a potential Howard trade in his most recent article. Miami doesn't want to deal him, but it is the worst kept secret in the league that Howard is not happy with his contract. He's due $12 million in non-guaranteed money in 2021, a low standard coming off a 10-interception season. That's a problem if Miami doesn't adjust Howard's deal this summer. There was buzz league-wide that Dallas might make a play for Howard, though that was mostly before the Cowboys went all defense in the draft and picked up 3 new corners. So I always think it's funny when a team talks about trades, somehow they figure out a way to finesse the Dallas Cowboys and every single, trade rumors out there. But I don't care about Dallas. I care about the Miami Dolphins, at least in this video here. So will Xavien Howard get traded? I want you to type T for trade, or I want you to type K for keep. Now, I get anytime you talk about a major player like Howard, whether it's the Dolphins, whether it's the NFL, there's going to be a lot of teams out there that would be very interested in going out and getting them. Even though I'm sure we are going to get a few T's in the comments, I'm going to guess that 95% of y'all are going to type K for keep, and you all should type K for keep. You should want to be able to keep one of the best defensive players in the league. So for me, I'm going to say no. I do not believe that Howard ends up getting dealt here. I would be very shocked, because one thing that Miami has been able to do is try to keep some of their stars happy. I understand the Kyle Van Noy thing was a little bit weird, kind of came out from left field, but Howard seems a little bit different. They're going to try to keep him happy, and I believe that they're going to ultimately do so. Now, let's just say, though, they're like, all right, man, what's it going to take to keep you happy? And he's like, I want a new deal. You could be talking about getting into the Jalen Ramsey type money. So this is the highest paid cornerbacks per year. I know the number that you see is 15.05 for Howard, but again, he's only going to make about $12 million this year. This is based off the entire contract. If I'm Howard and I'm Howard's agent, I say, well, you know what? Jalen Ramsey's making $21 million a year. I had a better year than he did last season, so I believe that I should go out and get $21 million a year. So this is your time now to shine. Should Howard get a brand new deal just shortly after just getting a brand new deal, really? I want you to type Y for yes, or I want you to type N for no. If you want to be an overachiever, if you want to let me know maybe the type of contract extension essentially Howard would get, let me know the years, let me know the amount of money. I'll be down in the comments and I'll be looking. But do I think that he should get a new deal? Yeah, I do if you ultimately want to keep him happy. But then there's also that part of me that's like, in real-life jobs, if you just get a raise, it's really hard to get another raise again. So sometimes I wish some of these football players would be a little bit happy making the amount of money they do because, let's face it, they make a shit ton of money. Miami Dolphin fans, what I want you to do is go ahead and download the free Newsbreak app. How do you do that? Get out your iPhone, get out your Android, and go to chatsports.com/DolphinsNB. It's going to drop you on the Apple Store, app site, essentially. You download the app. It's really, really simple. If you're wondering why should you do it, it doesn't matter your city, your zip code. This app is applicable for you. News, weather, food, all this amazing stuff, plus even more videos. So, again, you got to go to that link, chatsports.com/DolphinsNB. Help us reach 700 followers on the Newsbreak app. We got a lot of different channels here at Chat Sports. The Dolphins right now, they're a little bit in the middle of the pack. We're currently at 677 followers. The goal that I set here for this channel, for this company here, I got to get to 700 followers on the Newsbreak app. So please don't let me down. Robert Hunt, is he going to end up playing guard? That's the latest story here we're talking about on Dolphins Today. Hunt is playing guard this season. Wait a minute. Is he playing guard or is he playing right tackle? Well, Hunt was actually at Dolphins OTAs just the other day and was talking about the way that he is going to be able to help out this football team. Essentially said, whatever they want to do on the line, I'm open to it. And it's kind of an interesting topic because the right tackle position is obviously a very important one considering the fact this is going to be the dude that ends up protecting Tua Tagovailoa. But he started 11 games last year at right tackle. Also was a sprinkle in here and there at some other spots in the other games. But he has also been training at all 5 offensive line positions. So obviously he's a very versatile player. And in 16 games last season, only allowed 3 sacks. Hunt, I don't know if you guys have seen this whole story around him about where he's going to be playing, but I also say this, I enjoyed the interview because it's hard to find players come out of their shells, especially in interviews. It's actually one of the reasons why I don't like player interviews, because they're not being real with y'all. That's not what you're getting out of Robert Hunt here. He goes on to explain like how he's got all 10 of his fingers painted because he wants to be a little bit different, but here was the exact quote on Hunt and essentially why he could potentially be playing guard. This is going to be my first year playing guard since my sophomore year of college. I mean, that basically alone tells you that Hunt believes that he's going to end up playing guard. If I do play it, I think whatever I am needed to do, I think my body will allow me to do it. So some of you out there are probably like, well, wait a minute. Why would you end up moving him from tackle to guard if, he actually did halfway decent last year? And I agree. I thought he did pretty well last season. However, they made some moves here up and down a little bit, but he played it in college. So if you can find a player and you can ultimately think that your offensive line is going to be better by switching him to guard. Now, he played a little bit more left guard than he did right guard, but I'm going to believe that he's going to end up playing right guard here for the Dolphins. Miami, if you remember, they signed DJ Fluker. So Fluker last season spent some time with the Baltimore Ravens when oh my gosh, Ronnie Stanley, he went down with an injury. They ended up kicking Orlando Brown over to left tackle. DJ Fluker ended up playing some right tackle. So with that move being said, you could really see Fluker now slide into the right tackle position. And then the other reason why they're going to end up moving him, Liam Eichenberg. Eichenberg's probably going to play left guard. I know he played a lot of left tackle at Notre Dame. Austin Jackson is more than likely going to be your starting left tackle. And if Eichenberg, if he wants to play left guard, which I actually think that's probably his best route considering the fact that his arms are a little bit shorter than what I like to see in a tackle. but Eichenberg can also kick out to right tackle if that's the route you need to go. So as it stands right now, here's the Dolphins' offensive line depth chart. The fact that Hunt can play kind of swing guard, swing tackle, it does allow Miami to be a lot more versatile, to not be so worried just in case one of their other stud players ends up going down on this offensive line. So what I tried to do is this. I tried to show y'all my starting offensive line with Austin Jackson as left tackle, Eichenberg at left guard, Skura at center, Hunt at right guard, and DJ Fluker at right tackle. So now what I'm going to ask y'all is this, and I don't normally just ask you to put in all these names, but I'm going to challenge you a little bit because this was one of the biggest needs coming into the offseason. This was one of the biggest question marks around this Miami Dolphins football team. But I want you to predict the Dolphins' offensive lines. I want you to tell me who's playing left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. Please do it down in the comments section. Last story here on today's video, Myles Gaskin. Is he on the hot seat? So Bleacher Report, I like when they do these fun little articles here about like one player this, one player that. The article that I took a deep dive into was one player from each NFL team that is on the hot seat. Gaskin was the one that they ended up picking for Miami, and I could understand that because if you really look at the entire offseason, they were linked to just about every single free agent running back. I mean, how many shows did I do around Chris Carson, Aaron Jones, running back, and then in the draft, they're going to take Najee Harris, they're going to take Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne. We sat here on and on and on, and even now still the trade rumors around James Robinson, the UDFA guy from Jacksonville. It just seems to never end. So, I could understand the pick of him being on the hot seat, considering the fact that he was a 7th-round pick. He's 24 years old, had some injury issues last season, and with all the quotes came out from Brian Flores that are like, we want a workhorse back. No disrespect to Myles Gaskin. He's a good running back. I wouldn't consider him a bell cow back. So when you look at these numbers from 2020 and 10 games, they used him quite frequently on the ground, through the air as well, 584 yards on 124 carries, 41 receptions for 388 yards, 5 total touchdowns. It was 3 on the ground, 2 through the air. But if anybody were to tell me, do I think Myles Gaskin lived up to expectations? He has already surpassed expectations for me and for a lot of Dolphins fans out there. So what I want you guys to do right now is tell me, which Dolphins player do you think is on, I guess I should say, which player has the hottest seat? Saying that out loud, it sounds kind of weird coming out of my mouth, but which player do you think, man, that seat, the dial, it's really turned up and they're starting to sweat a little bit? I'm going to give you my top 3 players that I think have the most pressure going into the 2021 season. Number 1, probably not too big of a surprise, Tua Tagovailoa. Everything that the Dolphins did this offseason is around him, and if he can't succeed with the offensive firepower they have, I'm going to really question whether or not he's ever going to be able to get it done. Myles Gaskin, number 2, for a lot of the reasons that I just listed. And then number 3, Noah Igbenogany, drafted in round 1, number 30 overall in last year's draft. Really struggled, was rated as the worst cornerback in the entire league according to Pro Football Focus. But if you disagree with my 3 hottest players' seats, then please go down in the comments and let me know.